Hey, what's going on, everyone? Choco here, and welcome to another Sky Factory 4. Again, part of the little mini-series we got going on, which is talking about different things that we've set up for automation in Sky Factory 4 that maybe will be useful to you and maybe will be helpful for you all to consider, because I find some of these things super annoying. I find it a little bit hard to sometimes wrap my head around, how does this work again? And as per the other two, this is going to heavily lean on AE2's version of automation, so be aware. Now today what we're going to be talking about is the Potion Brewer. Kind of a little bit of something different. Won't really rely upon other things that we've seen before, but just a couple of notes that I wanted to make explicitly in one episode, because I feel like other people are going to have this problem and get confused and be like, why is this working? Because at least that's what our experience was when we tried to put together our own potion brewing operation. Now, first off, for this whole thing, you'll notice that it's quite compact. I'm actually pretty happy about how compact it is, and it's pretty simple to go. It's going to require one thing of fluid extraction cable, one thing, I feel like I'm doing like a cooking recipe, but flux point, two interfaces, because we're going to have two different machines that we're working with, and then two import buses to take out their product and send them on its merry way back. Also, a water source of some type. In this case, we're using the infinite water source. I think this is the basic level, which is more than enough water for what we typically work with. Also note that within the Potion Brewer, you can get upgrades in Sky Factory 4. This may not apply to you if you do not have this mod in here. So Tesla Core Lib, which I'm assuming is Tesla Core Library, is going to provide for you the upgrades. You can have energy upgrade 1 and 2 and speed upgrades 1 and 2 as well. So if you're wondering, can this go any faster? It can. Not a ton faster, but it can go faster. Now, with all this said and done, I do want to highlight this real quick because I didn't think this was terribly obvious. If you do not know what this UI is, you're just sitting there going, what? Don't worry, hover over these different colors and they will tell you and highlight what each thing is. So in this case, the first one is energy. This is like if you have a battery or something, you can go ahead and offload energy or whatever the case may be. Water, same exact thing. You can have this will hold your entire water capacity here. And then if you have like a glass, or if you have a bucket of water or something, you can put into this and they'll drop it off and so on and so forth. You have a glass bottles input. This is going to be where you put your glass bottles for your actual potion brewing at the very start. Your ingredient input, and this is kind of confusing as well, but this is basically showcasing the order in which that you're going to be putting things in. So you're going to start off to make the awkward potion, and then so on and so forth. The green things, or the purple things, sorry, is going to be the actual outputs, the potions themselves. And then when it comes to the fluid containers, it's looking at this thing for the water. So just kind of a quick little overview. It's a little bit weird to look at. I know the first time I had a little bit of trouble navigating this, but hopefully that helps. Now, with this put aside, let's talk about the way that this is currently set up, because this is actually quite simple and straightforward, but with one catch. You'll notice that on this ME interface, we have one bottle in terms of a potion of swiftness. If you have seen the other episodes, you'll know that we ran into a problem where I think Tex was basically trying to pull from an item extraction cable any kind. He was trying to pull like specific potions, but it would pull any potion that it found, which obviously wasn't what we wanted, and we tried to be a little more strict about it. It wouldn't pull anything at all. In this particular case, what we've done is I've gone ahead and put an ME interface that's specifically putting in a work order for just a potion of swiftness. Now, when it comes to potions of swiftness, right, you're looking at a couple of options. You're looking at, number one, a potion of swiftness that's going to be your regular old plain Jane, nothing else added to it, right? And this is just going to be by adding sugar into an awkward potion. You're good to go. There are then two variants, the longer lasting one of the same thing, right? So this is 3 minutes, 8 minutes, which is going to be redstone added to the existing potion of swiftness, or you're going to go ahead and take, so yeah, the potion of swiftness and the upgrades to that, or you're getting the speed 2 version, which is going to be the same exact thing, except with glowstone instead of redstone, and it's going to get you a little bit faster. Now, the reason why we did it in this way is because if you have them all in the same interface, which was what we initially tried to do, it's actually going to put this in, but it won't understand that, hey, certain times I want swiftness, certain times I don't, and it's going to pull your potion of swiftness before it can get to the more advanced version, which is something of a problem. So what we ended up doing is we have on here potion of swiftness only, and then for this one we added a capacity card, and what I should have done is also get the swiftness 2, but we didn't really worry about that yet, but in theory I should put a potion of swiftness 2 in here so it can differentiate and import that potion accordingly. That said, Pretty straightforward from there. One pattern, again, a processing pattern for this particular one, and then 2 processing patterns for their different upgraded versions. So it knows to wait and look for those particular things. Again, the only card that you really needed here was the capacity card to make sure that the 2 swiftness, potions of swiftness types are available for your use. If you don't care about the other one, like we don't currently care about it, then you're fine. But just in case you do want to make that available to you and just set it up once and then forget about it, that's all you need to do. So that said, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But as I said last time, let's also add in a little bonus thing onto this particular episode, which is let's go talk about these little idiots real quick. These are what I'm calling blooms. Now you might look at these and go, okay. I just wanted to make sure that everyone is clear about the way that this kind of whole thing works, because this looks a little bit crazy, and we'll talk about it probably again on the last episode when we're doing a little wrap up of the entire base. But these blooms are kind of my way of approaching a very simple and easy to manage system that is independently functioning from each activity, depending upon what your interface is set up to do. What I mean by that is that whenever you have an interface that's working and trying to do different things, this interface, for example, whatever I put into its inventory, it will let those work orders be completed through the assemblers that are attached to it. You could theoretically put a 6th assembler onto the bottom of our blooms, and each bloom would then be able to work with, instead of 5, 6. But because of the way that I like to work with things and I like to check to see what's in the interface itself, I like to leave one face open, which is why we settled on the number 5. Now, you might think to yourself, this is crazy, Choco. Why do you need this many? Well, there's a lot of different recipes. There's a lot of different things that require shapeless crafting, and it's something that I don't really feel like going through the trouble of saying like, hey, I need to make planks, and then I don't have the ability to do that, and then it breaks everything else, because obviously if you try to make a more advanced pattern that requires planks and you don't have planks present, then it doesn't know what to do. So you can see how it gets a little bit complicated. To make these blooms work, in addition to this being 5 assemblers attached to each interface, we also have accrued for ourselves. We've also gotten ourselves an interface terminal like we had before, which I recommended to, I believe, when the guys did theirs. And this interface terminal is, of course, allowing us to organize all of our different patterns. You'll notice that we've got quite a few things automated, which is pretty nice. In the case of the farm, we'll talk about the impact about what all this stuff will do and why we did it the way we did. But this is something very important to notice if you would also like to do your own version of blooms. Now, a couple of other things I do want to point out. Number 1, your crafting CPUs, very important. 5 means that you're going to need at least 4 of these co-processing units. If you increase that number to 5, then you can operate with the full 6. There, as far as you can go even higher and then have more things brought into the whole process. But for my experience, it seems to be the case that having 5 is pretty decent. Having 1 cluster generally gets the job done, assuming that you put your terminals or you have your interfaces handling operations in an intelligent way. So for example, if I have all of my processes that are trying to go at the same exact time, that are basic processes in one interface, probably not the smartest. In addition to that, because we have all those set up, we are going to have to make note of something else. You may think to yourself, well, Choco, why don't you just make it so your interface terminals, or your interfaces, are just going to go ahead and lattice out. And what that is whenever you put, I would put like an interface over here, or maybe I even put assemblers here and then I make it like a 2 wide thing and all this other stuff. I personally find that to be really daunting to look at and like try to figure out like what's what and where's what. So I personally find this a little bit easier. So a little bonus thing for you guys today. Hopefully that is helpful. Hopefully that is something that can advise you on if you're getting started with your own operation in Sky Factory 4. But yeah, should be pretty cool. The last episode again is going to be the next one, and then I'll be back, and then we'll be back to a kind of a regular version of content. And then for that, we're going to be talking about the farm and talking about the state of where we are and kind of what's coming up and what we have left to do, because we have accomplished quite a bit, and this has been a lot of grinding. So again, we'll talk about that in the next episode. But anyways, thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy, consider leaving a like rating down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you want to be notified, hit the notification bell. And of course, today we talked about the potion brewing stuff, and we also talked about our blooms and how that interacts with the rest of our base. And in addition to all of that, I also think you're cute. What? I didn't say anything. Anyways, so that all said and done. Next time, base. And after that, I'm hopefully home and we're ready to go back into more content. So always, and most importantly, take care of yourself, have a wonderful, safe day, and until next time, ciao for now. Cutie.